mostly it was Dr. Ken at the time. And I know you love being connected to those individuals who are holding the greater vision for our organization. So I'm very excited that this has turned out. Reverend Dr. Soni is someone who I appreciate so much because I had an experience with her one time. We were at a ministers' conference. She was serving on the ministers' council at the time, and she was noticing me, and I didn't know she was noticing me. And she came up to me and she said, "How are you?" And I said, "Okay." And she looked at me and she goes, "How are you?" And she could see through me. She could see that there was something beyond. So I have appreciated her ability to see beyond the surface of life. And she brings that to what she does, to the vision that she holds for this organization. And I have felt seen by her in such a beautiful way. So I appreciate Reverend Sunny. She has served in this organization for a long time. And I'm not going to read her bio because it's long and you can see it if you want to somewhere else. But she has been serving in a variety of ways. She's been in the movement for a long time. She is a proud 12-stepper. She is proud to stand by, in her anti-racism work and all the work that she does. She brings passion to everything she does. And it's simply a beautiful thing to behold. A doctorate is something she just received at the last conference. I do hope and know, yes, you can applaud her for that. Yeah, that's great. And I do hope at some point you might consider coming to a conference where she is for the whole organization and to see Reverend Dr. Sunny because she's a beautiful being. She's not unlike somebody you know because she's a no bullshit kind of girl. Even though she's not from New Jersey, she's from Kentucky. And I was at, let me tell you one quick thing. She invited me to come and work with her practitioners and speak in her community. And there she was, having a thriving community in the midst of the Bible Belt. We're talking the Bible Belt. And she drove me around one day and she was functioning in the midst of pain, in the midst of hatred, in the midst of having, seeing signs on the stores, which I had never seen, my lily white face of KKK signs. Like there she was doing the good and very good work so courageously, so courageously. So I love and admire this one for more reasons than I can tell you. And so Reverend Soni Cantrell, I'm so excited that you are here with us. Thank you for being here.
Wow. Thank you. I have a lot to live up to. That was quite an introduction. First of all, let me just say thank you to Reverend Michelle and to Reverend Neil for inviting me to be with you this morning. And what a beautiful morning it is here in Kentucky, and I'm sure they're in New Jersey as well. I want to start this morning by sharing some words from Rabbi Zia Freeman. And he writes that some people have myths of how our world began, how the earth and its creatures were formed in some mythological past from some greater heavenly world. From a big thing came a smaller one that fits nicely into what we know and how we think. We end up with a universe continually, endlessly in time and space. And the finite extending infinitely, continually rebuilding itself on its own power, entirely built of unknowables. Being human, we are generally more comfortable with the absurd than the unknowable. We want to explain things. We're, meaning-seeking creatures. We want to find meaning. And yet, if we let go of looking or searching for the meaning, There's a place within the human soul that resonates with the nothingness, that knows existence from beyond. It's not the mind, it's not the heart, it's nothing tangible or describable, just a certain sense of intimacy with the infinite. The unknowable within us connects with the unknowable of the cosmos, and it is from there we know all things. I think it's from there, it's this place where deep meets deep, that we are renewed and revitalized, and we no longer have to contemplate the why, but instead we become still and know that spirit is who we are. And I think that this is where a new path is forged from the very nothingness that we once were. This is the point of transcendence and transformation. You know, I'm loving the global themes this month. And the title of the global theme this month is That's How We've Never Done It. And it resonates deeply with me because as humans, we possess remarkable intellectual faculties for logical problem solving. Our reliance and awe for our intellect often leads us to feel, proud of our ability to solve any problem that comes our way. However, there are moments when this approach falls short. And in these instances, we tend to forget about another dimension of intelligence within us. And I know you've probably heard this 1,000 times, intuition. And it transcends mere intellectual understanding and sometimes offers a deeper, more profound solution. Instead of persisting in our need to figure everything out, we should learn to trust and tap into this inner guidance. I know it's taken me a long time to really trust this inner guidance. But by doing so, what happens is we get to navigate the uncharted territories of each new day with grace and clarity and dignity. And I think that is what Rabbi Freeman is saying. There is something happening in our world right now. And in a world, think about it, in a world that's often characterized by divisions and discord, I believe there is an emerging trend quietly reshaping the landscape of spiritual communities around the globe. I think there is a call that is happening right now for traditional barriers and religious divides to give way to a new era of collaboration and shared purpose where diverse spiritual communities find common ground for the betterment of humanity. This quiet, unprecedented movement is challenging the way we have always approached spiritual endeavors. And I think it's ushering in an era of interconnectedness, mutual respect, and collective growth. Now, don't misunderstand me. This is not to say that the old guard or traditions is going away, because there is definitely a struggle going on. And the struggle lies in the tension between the old guard representing traditional barriers and religious divides and the emerging movement toward collaboration and shared purpose among diverse spiritual communities. While there's a growing recognition of the need for interconnectedness and mutual respect and collective growth, there are still entrenched attitudes and structures that resist change. The traditionalists may resist this shift due to the power or the fear of losing power, of losing influence, or even their own identity. They may cling to familiar doctrines and practices and hierarchies, viewing any deviation as a threat to their authority or the integrity of their faith. Now, this resistance can manifest in various ways, including opposition towards those advocating for change. Personally, Have you ever tried to change somebody's mind when they're entrenched in what they believe? Now, on the other hand, supporters of collaboration and shared purpose face their own challenges. I want you to think about this. Change itself must navigate entrenched beliefs, it must navigate skepticism and overcome institutional barriers in order to have real dialogue and cooperation. And this requires what? Patience of all things, diplomacy, and a willingness to engage with diverse perspectives without compromising our core values and our principles. And the struggle extends beyond individual communities to societal structures and cultural norms. Systems of oppression, discrimination, and inequality often intersect with religious institutions, posing additional obstacles to collective progress.
Yes,
And
ma'am.
overcoming these systemic challenges requires a concerted effort by all of us together to address root causes and build inclusive spaces where all voices are represented, heard, and valued. You know, despite the challenges, the movement towards collaboration and shared purpose represents a profound opportunity for not only personal spiritual growth, but also societal transformation. Because by moving our focus from the individual, the collective, or the universal, we all have the opportunity of transcending traditional barriers and religious divides. Our communities, your community in New Jersey, can tap into a deeper sense of interconnectedness and work together towards common goals. And this requires courage and empathy and a willingness to embrace uncertainty. But oh my gosh, the potential rewards can be incredible. For example, decisions for the greater good being made from love and from compassion instead of fear. And think about this. What if we had a paradigm shift wherein the collaborative effort among spiritual communities worldwide made a commitment to work together to address pressing global issues? What do I mean by that? From environmental sustainability to social justice, pooling our resources, our knowledge, and our spiritual insight to effect positive change. Imagine, if you will, Buddhist monks working side by side with Sufi mystics on projects promoting environmental stewardship. Maybe Christian pastors engaging in dialogue with Hindu yogis to address the root cause of poverty. I believe in possibility. I believe that we can do this, that we have the tools, that we are the ones who can initiate this change. What about the creation of shared spaces that serve as hubs for cross-pollination of ideas and practices? Spiritual centers opening their doors to one another, hosting joint events, workshops, and retreats where our own practitioners and practitioners from different traditions can learn from one another. Think about it. In these shared spaces, meditation techniques from various traditions could come together and create a beautiful tapestry of spiritual practices that transcend cultural and religious boundaries. Or how about tearing down the walls of indifference and instead committing to a rich exchange of wisdom and a deeper understanding of the common threads that run through all spiritual traditions: compassion and love. If we really believe we are incarnated out of the infinite beings of the one mind, if we really believe our human thoughts are made of the same divine substance and energy as the one, then the creative power and possibility that is our birthright is only limited by the size of the mold we offer for its expression. Are we bound to the scope of our previous experience and understanding, or are we willing to surrender into a bigger idea? I ask you, are we here to be big for God? Here's the deal. As we tune into the unlimited creativity of divine intelligence, it becomes easier to trust its activity in us and for us and as us. And listen to me when I say, we are being called to step into a greater possibility, one in which all are living a life of complete emancipation from all discord of every nature. Sound familiar? As spiritual leaders, and we are all spiritual leaders, we must continue to break down barriers and embrace collaboration and the potential for positive change on a global scale. And the good news is we can start right where we are with our own CSL communities, starting perhaps with opening communication camps between communities that are near you, such as email lists, online forums, or regular meetings, using your regional support coordinators for ongoing dialogue and collaboration, exchanging resources and expertise, and using best practices with each other, such as workshop ideas and marketing strategies, planning and hosting joint events and programs that bring together members of different CSL communities, retreats, a guest speaker series, or community service projects. How about global initiatives, which could include initiatives focused on peace building, environmental sustainability, social justice, or humanitarian aid? Supporting each other's growth. Now there's an idea. Many years ago, some of you may remember, you couldn't start a center within 5 miles of another center without permission from the original center. Thank goodness that no longer exists. What does exist is the opportunity to share success stories, provide mentorship, or offering assistance to another community when it's needed. Teaching classes together, as well as creating special workshops and retreats together to benefit all communities, sharing the cost for advertising and promotion, regularly evaluating the efforts and reflecting on what's working well and where there may be opportunities for improvement, staying committed to the shared vision of creating a world that works for all, even when we're faced with challenges and possible setbacks, trusting in the power of we, collaboration, compassion, and collective action. We do not have to do this alone, and we do not have to do it the way it has always been done. I want to leave you with this. In Judaism, there's a saying that behind every blade of grass, there's an angel whispering, grow. I think within every spiritual leader, and remember, we're all leaders, is an infinite intelligence called intuition, whispering, I've got you. Let's do this. And let's do this together. Go into prayer. Oh my goodness. As I just breathe in, knowing that this moment is alive, that I am alive, awake, and aware, and I claim that for each and every person, every individual on this beautiful Sunday morning, no matter where you are, no matter where you come from, no matter what your challenges, no matter what your blessings are. Because I know that there is only one infinite mind. I know that there is only one source creating out of itself every minute, every second of every day, never absorbed by its creation. This creation only creating what is like itself. And how amazing and beautiful that we are all this creation. And I know this power and presence from the invisible to the visible. I know this power and presence as love. I know it as compassion. I know it as power and oneness and beauty and peace and the eternality of life. And I stand in the power of this knowingness, of this infinite intelligence, as I speak this word for this community and each and every soul that is fully present. Breathing in and breathing out, knowing that it is simply the beloved breathing each one of us. And I declare and know that right here and not right now, the power of the one is working in, through, and as each and every soul. Standing in the power of the calling, moving from me to we as we stand together in collaboration, in compassion, knowing that we are the ones the world has been waiting for, and we shall not let the world wait any longer. I know that everything is unfolding in that perfect, magnificent order that has been called forth. This intuition that keeps whispering, guiding every day in every way, sustaining, creating, uplifting, all newness of life, new ideas, new prayers, new ways of doing things. I know absolutely that all these possibilities through the one mind are being incarnated in our minds right now. For our lives is the very life that God is, cannot stand still. We are here to be big for the one. And that we too are the changers. And that we too are making the changes through that very life that God is, calling us forward, supporting us in our endeavors. How amazing this truth is, how amazing it is to be fully alive, awake, and aware of this truth. Knowing that we are all in this together. How grateful I am. Oh, how grateful I am to know that the beloved is right where we are. How grateful I am to speak these words this morning for this community and all communities in CSL, Centers for Spiritual Living. How grateful I am. And it is through that grateful heart that I simply release this word into the perfect universal law, knowing that the law always says yes. It always says yes. I stand in that yes, the place I lovingly call grace, knowing that all is well with my soul. All is well with our soul, as we all say together. And so it is.